Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technology. To thank all of you for attending today's webinar with SureCall. Today's host is Jason Hayes. He is their National Account Manager and today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box and answer them at the end of today's presentation. Jason, thank you so much for being with us today. Always appreciate it. I am finished for now. You can go ahead and take it on over.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Always a pleasure to be with you and to present to the Microcom team. Thanks for the invitation. Happy to be here. Like Julie said, my name is Jason Hayes. I'm a National Account Manager with SureCall, who's boosters for home office, large buildings, small buildings, mobile applications, you name it. And today we're specifically going to be speaking about SureCall's line of for the home and the office. So basically some of the best options for a residence or even a small office area. So let's just jump right into it today. This is kind of our consumer product small in-building lineup, and you can see from left to right, we've got our Easy 4G kit, our Flare kit, our Fusion for Home kit, which I always spotlight because it's our most popular and our best value, and then our Fusion 5S. All of SureCall's boosters are sold as complete kits, meaning they come included with an outside antenna to bring in the weak signal, an inside antenna to transmit the boosted signal, of course the booster, which takes care of all of that for us, and all the necessary cable and connectors that are required to plug everything together. So all of these kits that we're going to talk about today are industry-leading performance. They include low loss, 400 cable, and most of them have options, your choice of an outside Yagi or Omni antenna or an inside dome panel antenna. We've got a bunch of different kit configurations with the exception of the Easy 4G, and I'll talk about that here momentarily. Keep in mind, these are already FCC approved and Industry Canada approved. They have blanket approval from the carriers. You don't certify anything or get permission. You simply have to notify your carrier that you're installing one of these, and it's a very simple process. We actually have a card when you open the package with any of these that will give you a website to go to and just kind of register your device. These all have a 3-year warranty, which is an industry-leading warranty, and lifetime pre- and post-sales and tech support provided by SureCall at no charge. So jumping right into the Easy 4G. The Easy 4G is really the first booster of its kind in that there is no requirement to put an antenna on the roof. Typically with an in-building setup like this, you've got an antenna on the roof. The higher the better typically to bring in whatever cell signal we can get and run it through the booster and transmit it into the building. In this case, the Easy 4G comes with this big dish antenna. It's called a signal catcher antenna, and it can actually mount in a window anywhere where you can get your best signal and then bring that signal into the home or office. So the Easy 4G is set up for that. It's a very simple, straightforward plug and play. This boosts signal for all carriers, voice, and 4G LTE data. It comes with your outside antenna, the signal catcher antenna, of course, and then the inside antenna is actually built into the booster. And that's the piece that you can see in my diagram here is sitting on the end table. So basically you set up the antenna in the window, you set up the booster / antenna on a tabletop, a desktop, a countertop, what have you, somewhere that's centrally located and convenient, and then plug it in and connect everything and you're good to go. The installation for this little guy can be finished in as little as 15 minutes, and it covers 1 to 2 rooms of complete boosted coverage, like I said, for voice and data, up to about 1,500 square feet. So this is a home run at an MSRP of $399. This is a really good option for a small home office, a basement, a dormitory, an apartment, anywhere where you might really need some signal and not have an easy time getting an antenna outside on the roof. So this is a good way to meet all the requirements of getting a signal boost without having to mount anything up top. Moving on to the flare. The flare is a similar concept in building signal booster. The booster is built into the main piece there that broadcasts the signal inside, but this comes with an outside mounted roof antenna like you would be used to seeing. Like the EZ4G, this is a complete kit. Includes the cable and the connectors and everything like that. And again, it's going to boost signal for voice and data for all carriers in the U.S. and Canada. This is available in a couple of different options. The picture I'm showing here shows it with an outside Omni antenna. It is available with a directional Yagi antenna if your customer has a need for that, and that would just allow them to kind of zero in on the nearest cell tower, or if they're only concerned about boosting signal for one carrier, say Verizon is all they need, they can actually direct that Yagi antenna at the Verizon tower. So this has a very high performance design. Again, all the components are included, and the internal antenna and booster are included in the same housing, just like the one we talked about before. The coverage on this one is up to 2,500 square feet. MSRP is actually the same as the EZ4G, but you get that additional 1,000 square feet of boosted coverage. So again, really the only drawback with this one is you've got to have that outside antenna on the roof. That's the trade-off. It also gives you that little bit of extra coverage power. Diffusion for home is usually the one that I spotlight. Again, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is our most bang for the buck, kind of our best value, top-notch performance, coverage up to 4,000 square feet, 8 simultaneous users, it's voice and data for all carriers like the rest, the great warranty, complete kit. This actually has several different kit configurations, which I'll show you here shortly. And I should mention, too, this is the only booster that we're going to talk about today that has the adjustable attenuation controls. You can see those little knobs in the picture here on the top of the booster. And that just gives the user the ability to attenuate any and all frequencies or shut everything off except for that Verizon frequency or that AT&T frequency or whatever their needs are. So you have a lot of freedom to really dial this thing in. This is what the package looks like. The Fusion for Home is a great retail product. You know, the box contains everything that's needed for that specific kit configuration, and it looks great sitting on your shelf. So that's kind of what the packaging looks like. Our Canadian versions of these, I don't know if anyone on the call is interested in that kind of a market, but it would have the French English packaging like you can see in the picture here. And then these are the different kit variations. So we've got 4 basic kit variations. The first one, left to right, it has a panel antenna for the inside and the omnidirectional, vertically mounted roof antenna for the outside. And then moving to the next one over, panel antenna and the directional Yagi. And then the next one over is the omnidirectional outside antenna with just the whip antenna connected right to the booster. So if you can centrally locate the booster somewhere, in a closet, that makes sense, a utility closet or something like that, or even just off to the side on a countertop, on top of a refrigerator I've seen, just whatever. And then the one all the way to the right is the same thing, except it has the directional Yagi outside antenna. These all will boost right around 4,000 square feet of boosted coverage. The kit configurations just give you that freedom to really, customize it for whatever the customer might need. So, like I talked about, this is the best overall value for this booster class. The diagram here shows the outside antenna connecting with coax to the booster into the wall and connect, whether that be the panel or the whip, what have you. It's a perfect a home, and 4,000 square feet, you're going to be able to cover homes. And then, of course, deliver the unrivaled performance with cutting-edge technology, reducing your dropped and missed calls, giving you more range on your voice, your text, your 4G LTE data, and all the different kit configurations that we talked about. MSRP on this one, depending on which kit configuration, is anywhere from $399 to $499. So it's a really great value. It starts at the same price, same MSRP as both the Easy 4G and the Flare, and that's why this one's so popular. The last one I want to talk about in our lineup is the Fusion 5S, and this one is coverage up to 6,000 square feet. Same concept as the Fusion for Home. We're just bumping up a little bit in price. There's a little bit more engineering that goes into this one. 6,000 square feet of boosted coverage. Again, boosts the signal for voice and data, decreases dropped calls, etc., and delivers unrivaled performance with all of those things. So MSRP on this one is anywhere from $850 to about $1099. And you can see the setup is about the same. You've got the outside antenna connecting to the booster. And the Fusion 5S kit configurations, we usually include 2 inside antennas because it's for such a large area. So obviously we have our full-time in-house tech support, USA-based, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We actually do have that extended now, so if you call on evenings or weekends, we have an answering service and one of our guys will get right back to you. There's the number there in case you need to refer to it. And then, of course, I always include the SureCall digital asset library link where you can download images, spec sheets, install diagrams, install guides, anything you need. Feel free to download any of that and use it at your leisure. Send it out to your customers. And if you can't find what you're looking for, feel free to reach out to me. My contact info will be at the end of this, and I'm always available. So right now, I'd like to just take a few minutes and open it up to any questions that you might have.
Hey, Jason, thank you very much for that presentation. We enjoyed it. And I do have questions for you. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one. Regarding the Easy 4G, is the 2,000 square foot cover, does it cover a 360-degree field?
Yes, that's a great question. The answer is yes. That is projecting that boosted signal in a radius out from the center of it. So yeah, the 2,000 square feet is circular. From the center would be that antenna. So you really want to try and position that inside antenna in a somewhat central location. We've tried to make that booster as unobtrusive as possible and the best looking antenna that we can kind of do without going too crazy. A tabletop, an end table, a coffee table, whatever. But yeah, you know, when those are installed, people do what's called a soft install. The antennas and connect everything, plug it in, and then move that inside until you get the desired coverage where it needs to be and cover their area.
Thank you, Jason. I'm going to go ahead to the next question here. If there are 8 users per EG 4G, but if I place 3 to 4 in the same area, will they interfere with each other?
Will they interfere with each other as you're asking? Repeat the question.
Yes, I'll repeat the question. If there's 8 users per EG 4G, And if I place 3 to 4 in the same area, will they interfere with each other?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if you install in an area, will they interfere with each other? The answer please.
Hey, Jason, looks like we have a little... Okay.
And you can put a couple of bubbles.
Apologies for the bit of interference on the line.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Hopefully you were able to catch most of that answer. I can repeat it if you need me to.
I'm going to go on to the next question. Regarding the, regarding the EZ4G, would it be qualified for any upgrades? For example, if a 5G it comes out?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a lot of buzz about 5G right now. Very few areas are really doing anything with 5G. The easy answer is no. There's no easy way to upgrade any of these boosters from 4G to 5G. Componentry is designed to boost the frequencies of 3G and 4G. The millimeter wave, which is a whole different animal. So, unfortunately, we can just swap out to make this 5G compatible. But we are the first ones on the market with a 5G booster. And it's not something that's in my presentation today, but we do have that available right now for a larger building. It's called our Force 8, and it's 5G compatible for Sprint and T-Mobile's 5G. Millimeter wave stuff is, like I said, a different animal, and that's something that our engineers are working on. And I can assure you that we'll be one of the first to market, if not the first to market, with some kind of a solution for that. But unfortunately, no, none of the boosters that I'm talking about today have an easy 5G upgrade.
Thank you for that. Next question here. How much cable comes with Diffusion for Home?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's a total of 75 feet of cable. So you have one length of 50 feet and one of 25 feet. Typically, the 50-foot length would be between the outside antenna and the booster itself, and the 25-foot length would be from the booster to the inside antenna. But, every installation's a little bit different. Every home is laid out a little bit different, so you can swap the two and do whatever you need to there. And then, of course, the two kit configurations that just have the direct connect whip antenna on the back of the booster, they just have one length, and it's 50 feet for that outside antenna.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jason. Next question here. Can you tell us what the blue knobs are on the Fusion for Home?
Yeah, absolutely. Those are basically manual gain control or attenuation knobs. So basically, you can't see it very well in this image, but there's one knob for each major frequency. So you have the LTE for AT&T frequency, the LTE for Verizon frequency, and then you've got the frequencies for the other carriers, the voice frequencies, the 3G, essentially. And you have the ability to attenuate each frequency range. And so if you're in a situation where you, for example, only want to boost signal for Verizon, you can attenuate the rest of those signals or shut them off completely so that you're only boosting signal for Verizon. And there are cases where someone may want to do that. Most often people just kind of leave those alone and let the booster do its thing and boost everybody at the same time. But you certainly have the freedom to be able to adjust it or dial it back.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. Next question here. What frequency does the Yagi antennas work off of?
That's a great question. The Yagi antenna is still a wideband antenna. It's just designed, the way that it brings in signal is kind of a more direct line of sight type of a pattern instead of just bringing in signals from all over. So it's still wideband. It's 700 to 2700 megahertz. But if you aim it at, say, an AT&T cell tower, it's still going to bring in everybody's signal that it can grab onto, but AT&T's will be far and away the best. So the Yagi antenna is really a powerful antenna if you want to target a specific carrier. But like I said, it's still going to bring in signal for all carriers that it can, but it's going to bring in one more powerfully, and it'd be the one where you're pointing at that cell tower.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next question here for you. Are there any devices that cover more than 8 users?
Yeah, there are, definitely. All of our boosters that cover larger areas boost signal for way more users than 8. We typically go up to 8 users, and keep in mind that's 8 simultaneous users. If you think about a typical, even a really big home that's 4,000 square feet, like Diffusion for Home would cover, it's rare that you're going to have 8 people all on their phone on a call at the same time. Although I guess it could happen if you're having a pool party or something like that. So, but yeah, the short answer is yes. Our larger boosters will boost signal for up to 15, 20, or even all the way up to 100 simultaneous users as that area increases.
Thank you for that, Jason. Next question here for you. Regarding the Fusion 5S, does this model have any option for no antenna?
This one does not. Unfortunately, no. This one is a powerful enough booster that you've got to have the antenna on the roof, and then a minimum of at least one antenna on the inside, but usually 2. So no, unfortunately, there's nothing like that.
Thank you for that, Jason. A couple more questions. Next one here. Regarding Fusion for Home, surge protectors included? And how safe would it be for surges?
Yeah, that's a great question. The short answer is no. The surge protector, the lightning surge protector, is not included with the Fusion for Home, although it is a very easy add-on and it's relatively inexpensive. I think the MSRP on the lightning surge protector is around $100, if I'm not mistaken, and basically it's a little lightning surge protector that goes between the inside antenna and the booster, so that if you have any kind of a lightning strike or an electrical surge, the booster components are protected from that. That has a lifetime warranty on the gas discharge element piece of that lightning surge protector. So if it does its job and it discharges, we will send you the gas element replacement for free. That is, I wouldn't say it's crazy common, but it's definitely the safest thing to do to have a lightning surge protector. We don't include it mainly because of the expense, and not every customer wants to pay for that. If it's something that they're only going to have set up periodically, or they're going to maybe take it from place to place, oftentimes customers don't want to pay the extra $100, but it's definitely the safest. I would say, gosh, it's hard to gauge how common a surge like that is, but it's more common than a surge inside your home because you have an antenna on the roof. So if there's any kind of static electricity or a lightning storm going on, you're always at a little bit of a risk.
Thank you for that, Jason. And just to be sure, in case one of us is asked, is this a plug and play, or if it's not, certainly thank you for the hours of support and your technical support information.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely the EZ4G and the Flare we consider plug and play. And I just lost my screen. I don't assume you guys can still see my screen or my presentation up.
That's correct.
for some reason it just went down. So let me see if I can get it to resume.
There you go.
Let me know when you can. Is it back? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what happened there. I apologize. But yeah, so the Fusion for Home and the Fusion 5S do require a little bit more installation.
Oh my God.
If I'm being perfectly realistic, the Flare requires, the outside antenna. So those three all kind of require an antenna on the roof, which is a little bit more of an install intensive thing. So the EZ4G is the only true plug and play one that we're talking about today that you can take out of the box and set it up without climbing on the roof.
Excellent, Jason. Thank you so much for answering those questions for us today. And thank you to everyone for attending today's webinar as well. If anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of these products mentioned or shown here today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. Please remember this webinar presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so you can view it again. Jason, thank you so much for your time and all of your information, especially your contact information there. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks again, Julie. Have a good one.
Thank you.